Good morning out there, everybody. It's Monday morning. This is Alan with D9J Sports. We're back with our morning drive show. We've got a great one lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about Roy Jones Jr. and his comments towards Floyd Mayweather. And we're also going to be talking about Chris Carter and his unbelievable assessment of Chad Ochocinco. So sit back and relax. Let's jump right into this thing. So first off, before we start, I want to tell all the people in Kirk County, man, hey, we feel sorry for what's going to happen with the floods and stuff, and hopefully someday you'll recover. I know that when you lose lives, it's really difficult, and it's one of those things that we just don't seem to be able to understand why it happened. It's an act of Mother Nature, and it's just a bad situation. Just a bad situation. So prayers go out to all those people. So, hey, let's jump right into this thing today. We're going to be talking about Roy Jones Jr. So Roy Jones Jr. was doing a show with Andre Ward. Andre went out to visit the two all-time greats get together, and they went down their list of different things about boxing. And all of a sudden, Roy Jones Jr. comes out and says that Floyd Mayweather Jr. wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, I'm here to tell you, maybe Roy's taking too many knockout shots, because this really isn't the first time that Roy Jones Jr. has had some controversial out of the line comments towards Floyd Mayweather Jr. From my assessment of it all, it's simply what happens in America now. It's about hate. He's hating on Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's hating on Floyd Mayweather Jr. And he's been doing this because most of the people say that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the greatest boxer of all times. Well, Roy doesn't want to hear that he's the greatest boxer of all times. He wants himself to be named and labeled as the greatest boxer of all time. Well, you can't be labeled as the greatest boxer of all times when you've been knocked out 7 or 8 times. No, and some of those knockouts when it was later in his career, they do count because you shouldn't have got in the ring. Floyd Mayweather Jr. never lost a fight. Sugar Ray Leonard lost quite a few fights. Well, not quite a few, like 4 or 5 fights, but he did lose some fights. So to come up and say that Floyd Mayweather Jr. wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard, that doesn't make any sense to me. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. he has an undefeated record. You can love the guy, you can hate the guy, but as far as I'm concerned, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the greatest boxer of all times. So you can take your opinions about your personal opinions and think, oh man, Floyd done this, Floyd would have done this, Sugar Ray would have done that. He didn't do that. Roberto Duran beat him. He lost several fights. But then Roy Jones wants to take a fact that a man that's lost no fights. He lost no fights. Fighting in the welterweight, he lost no fights. He's fought some of the greatest boxers in the history of boxing. And he wants to say that no, he wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard. That's taking hate way too far. Instead of saying, hey, it would have been tough on Sugar Ray, he just comes out and says, oh no, he wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard. So Floyd Mayweather has all the right to troll him as he done and sit up and watch all the knockouts of Roy Jones Jr. But the reason why Roy Jones Jr. done that, ladies and gentlemen, the reason he said that is simply because of hate. Did you see how Andre Ward looked at him and went, oh yeah, really? When he said that he wouldn't have beat Floyd wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard? Come on, man. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So let's keep this thing rolling. Let's keep the hate train. We're going to call Monday hate train. Let's keep the hate train going. What's going on with Chris Carter? So Chris Carter goes into this thing about Chad Ochocinco being just an average receiver. Okay, so what is average? Borderline Hall of Famer? Because he's damn sure he may not be a Hall of Famer, but he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Now, not to take away from Chris Carter's game on the football field. We all know Chris Carter was a hell of a player. He was a hell of a player. Some call him possession receiver. I call him an all-around receiver. He had some of the best hands in the National Football League. But for Chris Carter to sit up after Chad Johnson, Ochocinco, and Travis Hunter was just having a friendly back and forth, why are you calling him out? It doesn't make any sense. Another old school player hating for no reason. Then you look up and now he's making comments about Shadur Sanders. What is it about? Why does the hate continue to go on? Why is Chris Carter doing this? I'm going to tell you why he's doing it. Number one, you already know because he's hating. And number two is because it's simple. Hating comes in all forms, ladies and gentlemen. Hating comes in all forms. And that's all it is hate, man. All it is hate. Is Chad Ochocinco a Hall of Famer once again? Borderline. But to say that in his heyday, he was an average receiver. Now, he wasn't no damn average receiver. He was above average receiver. And I guess since Chris Carter's in the Hall of Fame and played in the National Football League at wide receiver, we're supposed to believe everything that he says. That's just like Terrell Owens saying that, well, no, I'm not going to do T.O. like that because T.O. always said that Jerry Rice was the greatest. But like Randy Moss said that he was the greatest receiver of all time, in which he's a hell of a player. And Shannon Sharp had to debut that and tell him it's Jerry Rice, the GOAT, who quite possibly the greatest football player. So those comments like that. Now, Randy, I would say, wasn't hating. He was just putting out there. But the Chris Carter thing just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And let's roll back. Let's roll back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's roll back to the man, to Roy Jones Jr., who in my consideration, in my poll, is at least the second or third best fighter of all times with all those, even though he's been knocked out on a lot of different occasions. But for him to come up and say that Floyd Mayweather Jr. wouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Leonard, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is other than hate, because, man, Floyd Mayweather Jr. was a man. And I'd be hard-pressed to think that even at his age, 41 years old right now, that if he wanted to, he could shave that beard off, shave that head, and start running the strip of Vegas at night and get back in there right now and stir up some dust. So you're headed back to work, ladies and gentlemen. You've had a good time. Remember, when you get to the office, they're going to be hating on you. They're probably going to take some of you for your analysis. Hope that you're safe and sound. And remember, ladies, when she comes into the office with that tight skirt on, you know she was just thotting all over the weekend. And today, on the construction site, when you're on your big tractor or your backhoe and you want to run him over because you know he told the boss that you was stealing time on the clock, don't do it. Don't do it, because you got the fights coming up and you've got the National Football League and college ball to be watching. This is Alan with D9J Sports on the Morning Drive. Hate Monday. It's all over. So when you get to work, you know they're going to be hating. Turn up the volume. Put on some good music after this show goes off and rock on. I'm definitely out.